Howdy, y'all. It's Frightman, and I am here to keep you spooky. In today's video, we're going to be unboxing Emmiline from Spirit Halloween. We're also going to be trying out the remote control activator from Spirit Halloween. So let's get Emmiline unboxed and see how this works out. We have a nice package with the directions and the adapter here. The instructions look to be a little bit lengthy, so this should be an interesting setup. The base is extremely heavy. I can tell you that right now. I own about 20 of these animated props, and this is definitely the heaviest of all of them that I have ever purchased. Off to the side, I actually have some gym weights set up to put on the base of her, because I have a feeling that her activation is going to be pretty violent, and so she's going to need that extra weight. All right, so we have her all unboxed. There's still a lot of zip ties to undo here, and I'm going to go ahead and take an opportunity to get it all undone and spread out here for you, and we'll be right back. Wow, welcome back. That was quite a challenge to get Emmiline unboxed. Lots of parts. We have Miss Emmiline herself. Pretty spooky looking. I can see her eyes light up, so that's pretty exciting. She has quite a large dress here and a ton of poles. I'll tell you why you're unboxing her. You want to be really, really careful because she's very secure in that box. There's lots of wires that could be easily cut. So take your time. Make sure you know what you're cutting before you cut it. There's wires that look like wires that are actually holding her in the box. And then there's wires that are the actual wires to run this mechanism. And obviously you want to be careful and not cut those. So just be careful. So let me take a few minutes to read the instructions and we'll be right back and get her set up. Thanks. So it looks like the first step is going to be putting the base and the jump mechanism together. And that calls for A and B going together here in the base. Like that. So we hope. There we go. A little tough to get that locked in there. And then the spring mechanism itself, which is labeled C, is going to go over here to the back of the base, which is C as well. All right. Looks like she is ready to jump. All right. So we have Emily's base all put together here, and we have attached the jump mechanism here on the back of the base. And now it is time to install her support poles and the jump mechanism itself. So this is pole E here, and we have pole D here, and this is going to connect over here to D itself. Or actually, it's going to go here, my bad. So we're going to go ahead and put this on D. And all of these poles are using the standard secure push pin method. Now, E is going to go to E here to support this pole. This is something new to me. I've not seen this on props, but there's a push button here. So pushing that button in and putting E together, it's now pretty securely locked here. So that's a good thing. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to have to put the support for the jump mechanism here, which is labeled O to O at the front of the base. So essentially what's going to happen here is while this will be here resting and not really doing anything, because when this goes in, you can see it doesn't actually touch anything. But when the pole jumps out itself, this is going to provide support for that pole so that the whole entire thing doesn't collapse here. So the next thing is going to be attaching these supports onto the base. And these supports basically have a hole in them. So it's secure to the base at the bottom, but there's a hole here. You're going to put that on. There's a bag of hardware that comes with her. Very small, almost threw it away, so be careful about this. This has cotter pins. So cotter pins are used to place in this hole, and that's going to secure this pole so it can't get undone when she jumps. The same thing happens here in the back. There's the same pole type of mechanism that's going to go onto the base here in the back. Slide on there, and we're going to cotter pin this guy in here. All right, so I feel a little better. It was overwhelming when I first saw the pieces, but it's coming together pretty well. One other thing that Spirit Halloween has included, I've never seen these in props before, but if you worked with props and you know these little push buttons that you use to secure these bars, those can be a little bit rough on your finger. So they're providing a tool that you can use now to push down that little pop-out pin, so when you separate it and take it apart, you don't pinch your fingers, and that's always been the problem for me taking these things apart. So this is kind of nice tool to have. If you recall earlier when I showed you the mechanism, the bar, this is where the motor is, this is where the spring is going to shoot her off. This was extended out. If in the instructions it tells you to plug it in so that it can pull this in, I missed that part. I don't think that it did. I believe it was supposed to be retracted and it wasn't. But in either case, I couldn't put it together. So I had to plug it in and have the bar retract back, and that's why I was having so many problems. So you can't put it together when the bar is actually out. And again, I don't know that the instructions call that out. And we're going to be attaching the F pole to the F pole, which is basically Emmeline's really backbone. This is the back piece that's going to hold her up. Now, this piece is quite intimidating because there's a whole lot of loose stuff here. And this is where I was having a problem earlier, where I was describing I could not figure out how to put this together. But again, it's because the throw mechanism was not retracted back. So that is important. So this is pole labeled K, and that's not what we want. We want G. Where's my G? Here is my G. So the G is going to attach to basically her backbone pole here. Okay, there we go. All right, we're going to see if that tool's going to be handy like I said it was, because this press mechanism doesn't actually want to go in. So it's going to be my chance to actually see how the press mechanism works. Hey, that's pretty darn good. I like it already. I'm sold. All right, so the tricky part here is you have H, and now we have this piece that has all of these different legs. So we want to match the H to the H here. All right. Now, it's starting to look more like a jumping Emmiline. So this is a good thing. And this is starting to make more sense if you remember when we attach this. When this mechanism goes throwing her forward, this is going to be where she's going to land. So that makes a little bit more sense for me now as well. So I think we'll keep her this way for you to see the rest of this setup. So the next piece here is going to be pole J. The pole here is also marked J, and it calls for putting these two poles together. All right. And then the instructions ask to put the skirt onto Emmeline's base. So let's give that a shot. It's quite the big skirt, so this shall be fun. Let's see what we have here. Now the instructions show that the skirt should go all the way down over the base. So let's see if it looks correct. I think we have fire. All right, so we have the skirt on. And then the next piece is actually going to be putting Emily onto the mechanism and putting the spring here in order to spring her out. All right, so Emmeline's base here is coming together quite well. We've got the clothes down here. Emmeline herself was a little bit difficult to wrangle up. Her clothes were wrapped up around the bars, which was a tad bit difficult to undo, but we got it undone. Off camera, I have attached her arms here. So it's the same way as everything else, sliding M into M, and we're sliding N into N, and locking those into place. And then we have K that's going to go here to K. So let's go ahead and put her up here. And now we can take a look at her and see what she looks like. So pretty happy with her. Her hands are looking pretty spooky there. They are latex, so they're soft, nice and soft, and very realistic. The face is a hard plastic. I like it. It's pretty dang scary. I know underneath a blue light, she's going to look pretty awesome. Good job, Emmeline. So the next step is going to be what they're calling wiring management. So on the back of Emmeline, there is a plug here to port for the wires for her face. There's also this long wire that's coming out of the base here. And there's 4 clips that you use to attach the wire onto this pole. So therefore, we're not going to have any problems with the wiring getting kinked in the mechanism. The instructions really don't call for you to do it the way that I'm going to do it, but I think this is going to be easier for me to actually plug in the wiring first. So let's do that. Do I want to put the wires at the top or the bottom? I think it's probably going to be on the top. All right, so the clips just don't really clip on that tight. So I think that's going to be okay. Later on during Halloween time, I might want to come back with some tape and just wrap it around just to ensure that the wiring doesn't get caught up. But for the sake of this demo, I think we're going to be fine. So I'm putting one here, one here. I'm going to add one down over here. And then I am going to put one on this last pole at the bottom here. So we have our wire set up. Again, these clips are not the greatest. They're not really that secure, but I think they'll be fine for the sake of this demo. So the next thing is going to be for her actual outfit to be secured to the frame here. So, all right, folks, I had to back myself up a little bit. There's a piece that I missed. Again, she's kind of a challenging piece to put together. There's a lot going on here. So when we put this piece, the main piece on the base here, there was an L. At some point, I missed that this needs to be attached to the actual Emily face or Emmeline face. So there's actually a pole here in the head that is going to allow the body to actually have movement in it, which actually I thought she just jumped forward. I didn't know she had this extra movement. So that's going to be extra special. That's for dang sure. So let's get that attached. So basically there is a hole here. And there is a pole that the hole will slide onto. Alrighty. And then it requires a cotter pin to hold that piece into place. So we will stick our cotter pin in there. And we're nice and secure. We got the wiring done. She's looking pretty dang good. So the next thing is finishing up the costuming here. So at the top of her costuming, there's 2 hooks on the piece that I just secured, which is labeled J and L. There's a hook on that piece that these 2 pieces of loops are going to go over that hook to ensure that the costume stays on her. All right, so we're going to put those 2 pieces on there. And then the last piece of that is there's actually a couple of pieces of Velcro here. And on the back of the costume, there's also a couple pieces of Velcro. So we're going to be Velcroing these 2 pieces together, which just kind of basically is going to allow to keep the costume attached to her through all of the violent movements that she's about to make here. So let's see here. There's one piece of Velcro, and there is the other piece of Velcro. And on her covering outfit, there should be the same 2 corresponding pieces of Velcro. I got 1 and there's 2. Alrighty. So we're good to go. Velcro to Velcro. So I've got the costuming fairly well put together. It's not perfect at the moment, but that's something that'll be fixed, prior to Halloween for the demo. It's fine. The last piece here is the spring. So the spring's already attached here. You're just going to stretch the spring down. There's a hook here at the bottom of the base that the spring is going to attach to. And I think that from this perspective, we're probably good to give her a shot. So my darling Emily was quite a tough prop here to put together, but we got her done. She's in certainly in demo condition, but not ready to go out in the yard by any means. So a little bit of work that'll have to be done there. I played with the clips that hold the wires on. You can get them to actually work pretty good. You just have to really push them and they finally lock into place well. So that's good. I'll have put some extra weights in the back, actual weightlifting weights for right now. But come Halloween, she definitely will need to be secured in the yard some kind of good way. Comes in the package some things are plastic bags, if you will, to put sand in. I don't think that's going to actually hold her. So I'll be securing her in the yard a different way with some rebar and stakes. And let's see what she does. So I've put her on the side so that you can get a better view of what the whole thing looks like. So the costume is obviously covering up the base and all of the metal mechanisms. And also I've put her on the side so you can see how the arms throw out a little bit. She changes the direction of her upper body. And you can see what the throw rate is here, like how far does she actually throw. So I'm going to trigger it one more time for you so that you can see the actual throw from the side. So luckily, I have my remote control, and I am going to put my foot here on the base just to give it a little bit of extra support because I don't really have this thing secured. So, Emmiline, it's on you. Go. All right, so the last thing that I'm going to add is that the reset time is pretty lengthy. I'm going to guess somewhere between 30 to 45 seconds. So again, that's why this remote control for me is going to be invaluable because I don't want people constantly submitting her off because she's so violent. Plus, I want to be able to control when it happens. And with the reset being so long, the way things go at Halloween is somebody will come out, they'll trigger something, and then they'll stand there and, do it again, do it again, do it again. No, not this one. This one's going to get you when you don't expect her to do it again. So that's the really cool part. I'm really excited about this. This is going to be fun. So she's pretty big for my room, and I've had some challenges getting the camera back far enough. So I've changed positions here to attempt one more time to give you a good view of what that throw looks like. It's pretty doggone scary. I'm going to have a lot of fun with her, that is for sure. Well, thanks for watching the video. I know that me and Miss Emmiline, we're going to hit it off just fine on Halloween night. And we're going to have lots of screams and scares. Got a little bit of work to do to pretty her up a little bit. She needs some blood or something. But we're going to work on that and get her in working shape. So thanks for sticking around and inviting me into your living room. Until the next video, don't forget, I am Frightman, and I am here to help you stay spooktacular! Don't forget to like and subscribe.